from BeMommyWithStyle.com and welcome back to my channel. What we're going to be talking about today was a viewer request, and I thought this would be a great video for this week that I could talk a little bit more about the 5Strands food and environment intolerance test. Now, a number of us in our family have taken this. I have taken this, Natalie has taken this, actually my mom and my stepdad have both taken it at this point. And this all started because actually the very first one of us to take it was Penguin. And so I wanted to follow up on this because it was requested if I could do a follow-up. It's been basically a year since I took this test. Some of the other folks took it more recently, but it's been a year since I took this test. And the person wanted to know, they were having kind of similar issues where they could tell certain foods were affecting them, but they hadn't been able to narrow it down. Did the test help? So too long, didn't read. Short end of the story is yes. I took this test. The test that I took was just the food one. For Natalie, we got the food and environmental, so I'll talk more about the differences between those. Links to everything is down below, but I took the food intolerance test in April of 2024, I believe. I'd had a number of Disney trips back to back where it was really starting to become an issue. And I think, go into great detail in that initial video when I'm like, this test, really helped me out. It basically saved me being able to travel. So to give you an idea in a nutshell, there are some specific foods that if I would eat them, this includes a couple seasonings, which is what made this particularly tricky for me, where if I would eat them, I would just immediately feel ill and basically have to run to the bathroom. It was not a good situation, to the point where I was trying to order things that I thought wouldn't bother me, but I didn't know exactly what to order. And so it's really nerve-wracking when you're getting ready to eat something and you don't know whether it's gonna bother you. So I took this test and I did it in April, I believe, and then it came back in like May. The very first trip that I had it on was the Galactic Star Cruiser trip when we went in June of last year. And it was amazing, the difference in knowing what to order versus not. So what I found out from my test is that there were very specific things that I was doing not knowing that were aggravating my body. And there were very specific things that I love to eat that weren't the best complement with my body. So I was able to start altering things and changing those. And how it works is there's 3 different levels. Level 3 is the highest intolerance. This is the most your body's gonna react. So these are the items I was literally like eating and was starting to kind of figure out on my own, like there is a problem here. But level 3 is this. Level 2 is like you may have some reactions here and there, but it may be a little bit different. Like a random one, let's see what I am to mango. I happened to grab some sort of mango dessert when I was at, after I had taken this, a long time after I had taken this, at International Festival of the Arts in January. And the top of my mouth started itching and I was like, that's odd. I don't normally have that happen. And sure enough, I pulled up my intolerance test on my phone and I was some level to mango. Let's just look it up while I am. So it's all in order, mango level 3. So there's a lot of different reactions that your body can have. So for mango, I immediately noticed when I started eating something with mango in it that the top of my mouth literally started itching. And I knew, like, this is not normal, I should stop eating this. But for me, avocado, bananas, they're the most like boring thing ever. I'm level 3 to bananas. So this really helped guide me into not picking things that I thought were harmless, like a banana or avocado. I would eat that thinking like, oh, that's good for you, but I'm literally level 3 to those. So this helped me navigate how to make choices. So immediately I found out a few things that I was able to change. Something that came up level 3, which was an immediate switch, was olive oil and olives, consequently too. Olive oil was level 3 for me. I was cooking our dinner in olive oil every single night. We do HelloFresh, it calls for an oil. I had olive oil next to the stove. That's the oil I was using. I had no idea. I was literally cooking my food in like a level 3 intolerance for myself every single night. So the more and more that your body has to basically deal with these intolerances, the worse and worse it gets. So I mean, I was really at quite a sick point when I took this test. I was really desperate because I was having problems at home. I was really not feeling good. Certain foods I'd eat and immediately have to run to the bathroom. When I was out, it was so tricky because I didn't know how to order. And so when I took this test, this then helped me alter those things at home, like olive oil that I need to avoid. There's also, unfortunately, I love a great gyro. I love gyros and Mediterranean food. It's one of my favorite types of food. Obviously, olive and olive oil is in there. And there's spices that I cannot handle. So I was able to rule that one out quite quickly as well too. And obviously the olive oil is in that too. So some of the other things that you would think would be completely harmless, I'm level 3 to, peaches and pears. I mean, you could try to alter your diet and, like, you know, take out what you think might be harming you, like, oh, I'll just pull out tomato sauce, but I'll eat this peach and think that's fine, and the peach is actually level 3. So what this helped me do is give me kind of a guide as to what to order when I was out and traveling, things to steer clear from, things that I should be a little bit more better off with, and it basically was a 180 for me. So one of the big things that I found after I took this and found this sauce was a big contributor to level 3 intolerance for me was soy sauce. And I was eating a lot of things. There's soy sauce in a lot of things, in case you didn't know. Soy and soy sauce. I seem to do okay if it's baked in, but soy sauce is an immediate trigger for me, which is very tricky because it's in a lot of sauce. It's in barbecue sauce. It's in a lot of things, actually. Steaks can be marinated in a sauce that has soy in it. So by being able to order when I'm out soy-free items, which Disney is a great place to go because they have allergy menus at all their different restaurants where you can look up and find which items are safe for particular allergies. And we'll get into how we use those with myself and Natalie in just a minute. But it's been just so helpful because now I know if I avoid soy, if I avoid a lot of olive oil, if I definitely avoid, you know, some particular Mediterranean spices and things like that, started eliminating all of those from my diet and just immediately stopped having all those issues that I was having. It's been amazing. So long story short, yes, this very, very much helped me. How we even came across it is I saw this on Amazon and we actually got the very first test for our dog, Penguin. We got him a pet intolerance test because he was having like rashes and red itchy belly and chewing at his paws, and we're like, I definitely think it's something like allergy related. And he was taking allergy medicine from the doctor and it just still wasn't helping, you know, he would get like really patchy, rashy. So we did this, got it back, found out he was intolerant to a number of interesting things like rabbits and bees and pigeons, and I think horses too. Yeah, horses was another one, was really interesting. But anyhow, when he got over to the food, I was able to check his food intolerances with his food, the back of the, you know, nutrition facts for the main food and treats he'd be eating. He's level 3 to chicken meal, which if you don't have a dog, chicken and chicken meal are pretty much in every single dog product. You have to really like go out of your way and buy specific products that are made for like allergen dogs, basically, to get away from the chicken meal and the chicken. So that immediately, when we changed that in his food, helped him. And then me, shortly after, about 6 months after we did his, I was having all sorts of issues, so I did my test and it worked for me too. So that was 2 people down, Penguin and then myself, that it really super duper helped, but it didn't stop there. So I had my experience and I got my issues sorted out, and really seriously, because this person asked me, when they asked me if I could do the update, they were like, you know, has it really turned things around? I would say 99.9% of the time, I no longer have any issues with food. I know exactly what to avoid now. I know how to order when I'm out, and that for me solved all my issues. So I feel like my gut has definitely healed, and I can just, the potatoes are one of my like kind of like trigger foods. I can handle them sparingly, especially depending on what oil they're cooked in. I can handle them sparingly now, whereas before I would eat them and just immediately be ill. So it's like your body starts to heal itself when it's not like I was cooking in olive oil every night, you know, when it's not just having to, you know, deal with these things every single day. You're just pounding them, not realizing, oh, peaches are level 3. So your body does kind of heal itself. So I can kind of tiptoe where I could not eat fries at all before. Just immediately would make me ill. I can have a couple fries now and I'm okay. And when I first got this, I really had to avoid certain places that cooked with oils that either had soy or some other oils that I can't have in them. That's lessened a little bit, although I still try to avoid particular places that have soy in their oils. So anyhow, it's been a process. It's been a really long process. But I'm now a year out. It's gotten a lot easier. I know more what to order. And to be honest, going somewhere like Disney that has an allergen menu that you can pick specific items that, you know, either like have a little mark next to them that say this does not have soy in it, it makes it a lot easier to order places like that. So definitely ask when you're out if you have an allergy menu, because it's super duper helped me. But then that's not where it stopped. Like, I had such good effects, and I like basically talked it up so much, like sharing my experience, and like my family saw like how much better it was for me, that then my mom and my stepdad both did the intolerance test. And all it is, like, this is a used one, but all it is they send you a little baggie, you just clip a little piece of hair, you mail it off, they analyze it, and they get your results back to you about 2 weeks after that. So it's pretty quick. You just get a little snip of hair. All of us that have a decent amount of hair, we just like basically took like a little, you know, little snip of hair from underneath, so you couldn't really tell that we like cut our hair or anything. And yeah, just send it off, super quick and easy. And then you get results right back to your email. You just make an account with 5Strands and you get your results right back to your email. So I actually keep them in my email to refer to them when I'm out too. But my mom, my stepdad both did the test for themselves to kind of see if they had some intolerance things that they were running into, to get information from that. And then after all of those folks all did it as well, Natalie was having issues with some foods, but we couldn't really nail down what they were. So we're like, well, we might as well just do the intolerance test for her too. So this is actually hers. She's already taken it, obviously, because it's open and all that, but she did the food and environmental sensitivity test, because we all have environmental things too. And it was really interesting because there were some things on there I was not surprised by. There was definitely some things on there I was surprised by. And so one of the biggest changes that we've made for her is we found out that she literally has a wheat intolerance. It was literally affecting her basically immediately, just like when I was eating certain things. Her you know, things were a little bit different. Her symptoms were a little bit different, where she'd get like a headache and just some things like that. But she was able to cut out wheat, not full gluten, but she was able to cut out wheat, and immediately those issues stopped. So it's really, for all of us, been quite interesting that we have been able to eliminate some of these issues that we were having. It is a little bit more work because like now I'm like obviously altering for multiple diets, but like some of it's been fairly easy. Like instead of like the olive oil that would just buy a big container and be cooking it every night, obviously I pretty much immediately switched that out and started just using a regular vegetable oil. I couldn't use canola oil because I didn't have an intolerance to it, but I believe Natalie had a level 3 intolerance to it. So we had a bit of back and forth trying to figure out which oil was going to work for everyone. But we eventually found an oil that works for everyone, and that's what I use for HelloFresh now. When we're ordering our HelloFresh meals, we know which ones we can and can't order, or which ones we're gonna have to alter. So like I can still order meals that have a soy sauce on the side, but I just don't make my portion with the soy sauce. I like, you know, if it's meat or something, I make the meat, then pull a portion out for me, and then put the sauce in for everyone else. So we've been doing a lot of adapting that way. If it's a pasta dish, I make a gluten-free pasta for Natalie so it doesn't have wheat in it, because if it's gluten-free, it doesn't have wheat. And then the rest of us can have the regular pasta. So we've just been making adaptations that way, and that's really, really helped. So, I mean, I really credit this to what has allowed me to travel like I'm able to travel. It's basically the reason why I was able to start up this whole nother side of my business, the Moms and Mouse Ears, because obviously I have to travel for that. I have to be trying food for that. And you don't really understand how stressful it is until you're in the situation, but it's very, very stressful to be standing there looking at a menu going, I don't know what on here is going to make me feel immediately horrible and what's not. So when you have that knowledge, it really, really helps. We have these printed out for everyone, including Penguin. Including Penguin. They're really easy to refer to, but I also just keep it on my phone in a PDF format, and that way you can just go through and see the different items. Like Penguin's level 1 to pear tree probably won't have any visible effects to it, but Pigeon's, he's level 3, so if he's around a pigeon, he's probably gonna have some effects. So anyhow, it's very, very interesting. Obviously the pet ones are very different. Like chicken meal is on the pet one and it's obviously not on the human one. All the items are like specific to either pets or humans, what they're most around. I think some of the environmental ones, this is not, I didn't do the environmental, I think this is mine, but there are some environmental ones that cross over, like trees and things like that, but the food is specific to either pets or humans. So yeah, I mean, it's been really great experience for me. Highly recommend it. There's a link to both the pet and the human test down below. Feel free to ask me any questions, but when this person asked if I could do an update, I was like, absolutely. But here's my like synopsis of, you know, how it worked for me. And I really don't use this phrase. I really try not to use this phrase, but it was life-changing. It truly was life-changing, because if I had still been dealing with these issues for the past year, I mean, it wears on you and it's stressful, and it honestly like gives you an anxiety because you're like stressing about like whether or not this food's gonna bother me. So I don't know if I would have had to start cutting down on my travel if I wouldn't have figured this out. I know that I definitely would be more stressed when I was traveling. So it's been nice to get back to more of what feels like regular, normal. I still alter what I order, of course, but just being able to go out, have a great time, have dinner, and just enjoy traveling for traveling and not stressing out about what's gonna bother me when I eat it. But you can always check out what's going on over at BeMommyWithStyle.com. Just let me know if you have any questions down below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.